and we're gonna get right into it, man. So we got episode 6 of Requiem last night for Daredevil Born Again season 2, and I have a lot of thoughts. I'm gonna try. I'm always going off the top. Sometimes I forget, so forgive me. I guess it is what it is. But um, a couple of things. I just made a short, okay, and I said Luke Cage got some splaining to do because when I first saw that scene, my first thought is that Luke Cage was working with the government, okay? But it's only two people it could be, in my opinion. I don't think Jessica Jones is close enough to Danny Rand to say that he's working with the government. Although because of his company and everything, he very well could be. I had to think about this a little differently. I don't think Danny Rand, even though their daughter's name is Danielle, that's because Danny Rand and Luke Cage are best friends, not necessarily Danny Rand and Jessica Jones. But Trish Walker is on the raft. So I take back my statements, Mr. Luke Cage. I take back my statements because I didn't think he would flip or actually work with the government, but that was the only person that I thought it could be. I have to take back my statements because this is more than likely Trish. This is Trish Walker now. And I know I just did a 180 from this earlier this morning when I did the short. It's probably Trish Walker because she's already on the raft and she's already locked up. And at some point, I would think Marvel wants to get her out, and her cooperation with said government would be able to get her out. Okay. I suspect what we're doing here, I think we all can assume Mr. Charles is working for Val. Okay. I have a feeling not just one character from the Netflix shows is going to be coming back, but multiple characters. I think whatever happens in Doomsday, we're going to get the Thunderbolts back, and they should just leave their name as the Thunderbolts. I mean, it's funny for the whole new Avengers and all of that, but once that's done, they got to evolve the team a little bit. They got to put Bullseye on there, and I wouldn't be mad if they. And I've said this before. They got to put Trish Walker Hellcat on there, and her working with Mr. Charles and all of that. It kind of leads up to it, and that kind of could work. That could work. I'm kind of interested to see if we're going to get a end credit scene at the end of Daredevil this season with Val have some sort of dialogue with Mr. Charles, where we can confirm this Val. If that's the case, then it's Trish Walker who is working with the government because that's how she's going to be able to get out because Val's putting together her own team, or actually Val has already put together her own team. So and I love that. Trish Walker is actually one of my favorite side characters from all of the Netflix show. Well, I don't want to say the favorite, but one of the favorites. And the reason why, and that's going to lead me into this season, into this episode of Daredevil. The reason why is because Trish Walker was, I don't want to say, how do I say this? She was about that action. A lot of the side characters, and I do have a problem with how all of them were written. They were all one note. But if you like the note that they were written in, they're your favorite characters. And that's why people love Foggy and Karen so much because they were one note, but they were heavy handed on that note. For Trish, especially rewatching Jessica Jones season 1 through 3, they really did a good job of developing her character into Hellcat. And now in the MCU, she can hit the ground running as Hellcat. Her backstory is already laid. Like, and she was consistent. Even when she didn't have powers and stuff, she was the one thing that all the Netflix characters wanted to do is help. But each character had their own way of helping, depending on if they were Misty Knight and they were a police officer, or if they were Colleen Wing and they were a badass, or if they were Foggy and they were a hell of a lawyer and they had morals, or if they were Karen and she just was trying to find her way. It all still kind of worked because they were all one note, but they all wanted to help. Trish wanted to help, but she was about that action. She had no powers, wanted powers, and she would go with Jessica Jones and just be like wanting it. And it's consistent from the standpoint, and I'm getting off track here, but it's consistent from the standpoint of she had an addictive personality because she was a childhood star. And we all know the problem that a lot of Hollywood kids go through growing up in Hollywood having their problems. So it's not a far fetched idea that if there was a drug out there that would give her powers, she'd be willing to try it. And I really like how they played her story out in doing that. Now, with all that said, Jessica Jones returned in this episode. And when the agents, CIA agents or Val's agents, we'll just call them, they show up at her house and you see Danielle playing with all the purple toys and you see Jessica Jones with the purple socks and she goes outside and you just see, you don't even like the way they shot that was brilliant because you didn't even see the mayhem. You just saw bodies flying. So you knew it was going down. And the whole time Danielle's in there has no idea what's going on. She's just playing with this bomb, which the way it was beeping, I thought it was going to go off. Now, in the comics, her character has powers that she gets from her parents. And that leads me to my next part. Jessica Jones said that she told Daredevil after this happened, her powers go in and out. So she had a cracked rib or a broken rib or something because sometimes her powers go out. And you could see that when they were in the warehouse fighting, her powers just went away and she punched why can't I remember his name? The main ATVF guy or whatever. I wonder, and this is just a theory, I wonder if the powers are transferring to Danielle. And at the moment that they transfer, like maybe Danielle was doing something and her power kicked in and it took the power away from Jessica Jones. So that is my theory of how they may handle this. Now, what did that does that happen to Luke Cage as well? I don't know. Um, but we need to see Luke Cage's side of the story. Also, like Jessica Jones has been helping Karen and Daredevil this whole season, so it makes sense for her to come contact Matt and say they showed up. I'm pissed. Let's do this. I would think she would have brought Luke Cage with her, but then maybe he's the one watching her. But he's still running the Harlem's Paradise in Harlem. So if he maybe not in the picture, I don't know. I don't know. So, anyways, and let's see here. Anyway, so with that being the case, um, they take down the warehouse. We get the side story. Buck pretty much knows that BB is the one leaking stuff to the press. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. He tells Daniel, "Hey, your judgment might be clouded," and he was right. And Daniel figures it out. I thought they were gonna get her because I thought she was gonna leak it out, but luckily she deleted the text. But then he got the thing that she still had in her pocket, which maybe she didn't know, or no, she had to have known. But why she would take that with her, like that happened a while ago, like take it out of your pocket, put it in your office or whatever. So he catches her, and like I said, Buck's probably going to get her. Like she's probably going to die this season. I don't necessarily like the fact that we lost Ben Urich, and he was a big part of the comics. I kind of felt like he's a big part of the Daredevil story, but I kind of felt like you if you wanted to try to retroactively have that character still there, that's the whole reason of creating BB. But then if you kill her off, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of yeah, they're not even really using her right. I would say thus far. It is very interesting that she was the one making the videos. I kind of figured that because it was like a little body with a big old Wilson Fisk head, but his son is killing me. But anyways, you get that part of of the story that's going on, and as you guys can probably tell, I mean, I'm kind of hyped still. Just I need to watch it again. I only watched it once last night, but um, you know, we get the Daredevil Wilson Fish showdown. We knew it was coming. Surprised it's coming so early. We still got 2 more episodes left, so I'm not exactly sure how they're going to end this. But yeah, I'll say this too. I'll add another thing on this. The way the stunts have been done for Daredevil this whole season, as far as him fighting, A plus. It's better with the Netflix shows. He was more grounded. He was more just like a regular person. Okay, um, not a regular. He was an enhanced individual, but like he just did more like parkour. With him and his Billy Club thing that comes off and he can throw it. The way they use that with his movements is next level. It's cinema. Like he's ready for film, and I hope that they continue the seasons. I know they have a season 3. Recently, Brad Winderbaum said that they would do more seasons if people watch. It's all up about what people are watching, what's more popular, whatnot. Um, if I wouldn't mind them doing like 3 seasons and then taking a break and then come back with another 3 seasons, almost like they're movies and you're doing a trilogy. I wouldn't mind them doing that and then taking a break. But in that time of him taking a break, I would really like to see him pop up in a film, even if it's not Spider Man.